Brother, don't come to this set. If you have the morality of the rivers and lakes, you won't be a bandit of the 5 elements, and you're still looking for some ordinary people, you are that thing. What's more, I'm not a mess of the rivers and lakes, so I can't care about so much, but don't worry, I don't like to kill people very much, maybe you can save a dog's life. The second child was relieved when he heard it, but his mouth was still very hard, and he said sharply, "Stinky boy, don't think that I will beg you for mercy. If you have the courage, give me a good time." The little evil said, "Don't worry, don't worry." "Wait a minute, I said that I don't like to kill, but I still kill, figure it out, don't make me feel bad and accidentally kill you, then you can't make it." The second child was silent, he knew that it was better for this little table to be moody or less troublesome. Xiaoxie smiled. "What acupoints do you like to be pointed? Faint acupoints, sleeping acupoints, laughing waste acupoints, or dead acupoints?" "I'm not very good at acupoints, and if you make a mistake, you can say it yourself." The second child really couldn't cry or laugh, whatever. The little evil said, "Okay, just whatever, I'll click on the Baiwei cup ointment." After speaking, his right hand was about to point to his head. The second child shouted, "No!" Xiaoxie said, "Do you want me to do it? Well, I think the Baiwei cup ointment is the highest and the easiest, isn't it?" He pretended to be like a master among his apprentices. The second child hurriedly said, "No, no, you can order my faint hole." Xiaoxie asked, "Where is the faint hole? Can you tell me? Didn't you just point the boss's faint point with your teeth and forgot it so quickly?" "It's not that I forgot, but I hate that I don't know where the slang is." The second child knew that Xiaoxie was pretending to be garlic, so he couldn't compare his right hand with the Shenzang A cup ointment on the right chest and said, "Just click here." The little evil laughed and said, "Okay." The second child pointed at the finger and fell down. He threw the 2 men on horseback and turned around and went straight to the broken house. In the ruined house, the fire was already in full bloom, and the sun was shining. More than a dozen bandits were tied to the ground with a large number of flowers. The little evil had already walked back and counted the heads, and said with a smile, "Okay. None of them escaped, thank you for your hard work. These 2 bandit leaders trouble you to tie them up too, and we will go to get the silver back later." Many people immediately rushed up and tied them tightly, and some even beat them secretly from time to time to vent their hatred. Xiaoxie took a sip of wine and asked Ling, "Big brother, is anyone hurt?" Ling smiled, "Except for 2 passengers who bruised their arms, no one was injured." Xiaoxie felt that it was better than expected, and said casually, "Wait a minute, I will ask them where to put the silver, this will inevitably beat them, you can't be soft-hearted when you look at it, otherwise our silver will not come back." Everyone was eager to eat the soft-hearted burial of this group of bandits, and they all said that they would not do so. After drinking sweet brew for a few more days and putting down the gourd, Xiaoxie walked in front of the eldest and the second child to untie their dim holes and smiled, "Brother, I don't embarrass you, as long as you return the silver to us, I will let you go back." The boss said angrily, "Fart! I have fallen into your hands, what are you talking about? Life and death are fateful, who am I afraid of?" Xiaoxie smiled, "Boss, are you really so afraid of death, or are you embarrassed to lose face in front of your partner? Okay, I won't ask you." He walked up to the second child and smiled. Second child, just say it. Where is the money? The second child, I don't know, the boss is in charge of all this money, and he is the only one who knows where it is hidden. When the eldest heard this, he shouted, What are you doing, second brother? What kind of moment is this? You actually live on me and push. Who doesn't know that all the big and small things in the nest are handled by you? If you want to say it, you can say it. If you don't say it, don't say it. Don't push it on the brother. The boss was very angry at the second child's defection halfway. The little evil shouted, Don't quarrel, I know that each of you knows how to put this money, don't be a hero here, let people go if you say it, don't think about leaving if you don't say anything. His right hand poked into his calf, and he pulled out a dagger and shining, which was very scary. Second brother, don't you say it. He slashed his knife on the second child's face. The second child didn't answer, his eyes stared at Xiaoxie. Do you want to say it? Asked the little evil with a smile. The second child still doesn't say it. Suddenly, a cold light flashed, ah! A wail came, and the second child's right hand was cut off by the little evil at the shoulder, and the blood flowed, and the second child fainted in pain. Xiaoxie stopped his blood and woke him up again, and smiled, Do you want to talk about it? The second child's body trembled from time to time and said ashamedly, There is a small hole on the left side of the nest, your things are there. His face turned pale, and he shivered. He wanted to catch the little evil appetite again, but when he thought of the little evil slicing off his arm at once, this kind of clean interrogation method, anyone cannot help but ooze cold sweat when they see it, let alone those who have experienced it firsthand. The little evil has never instigated this kind of thing, and if he throws it with a knife, he will say what he should say, and he doesn't have to ask him what he shouldn't say. Very good, I hope you didn't lie to me. I, Yang Xiaoxie, never eat this set. He walked to the boss, only to see that the boss was already sweating all over. He didn't expect him to be ruthless. This kid was more ruthless than him, so frightened that his face was bloodless, his body trembled, and the little evil said coldly, Boss, what are you not good at? You are a robber, and I don't know how many bad things you have done and how many people you have killed. Think about their lives, and then think about your lives. Who is worth it? Look at you are still like a man. I will let you go, but you also have to leave something down. Without waiting for the boss to answer that, the great compassion finger had already pointed to the boss's cup ointment. He only heard the boss sigh. He knew that he would never be able to practice martial arts again in this life. The little evil turned to those little bastards and shouted, You little bastards! You don't want to think that God has the virtue of a good life, and you don't want to think that other people's money is not easy to come by, and you actually use it to rob. It's really hateful. My Buddha has mercy to let you meet me, a great good man, let you live, and destroy your martial arts for 3 years. Presumably within 3 years you will marry a wife and have children, and you will reform and will not become a bandit again. Little evil is rare to have the opportunity to be a great good person. Now the opportunity is rare. Of course, you have to behave well, walk in front of a dozen little bandits, raise your hand, 100 points of Kihu, Tei, go out, Suanji and Yang Guan acupoints, and use the exclusive technique Great Compassion Finger to seal their meridians, so that they cannot use their true chi within 3 years, just like ordinary people. After everything was done, he walked back to the second child and shouted, "Second brother, I didn't want to cut off your right hand, but the ghost head knife you used was shining blue, and at a glance, you knew that it was fed poison, so it can be seen that you are a despicable villain. Fuck. I just don't like people like you, it's useless. You villain must have a grudge in your heart, and you want to seek revenge on me in every possible way, and for the sake of my safety, I will make your heart ache for 3 days a month, so that you will not have time to harm others." He took out a pill and stuffed it into the mouth of the second child and said, "This pill is refined on the top of Qilian Mountain, it is extremely poisonous, you have to take the antidote once a month after you eat it, otherwise you will bleed to death by poisoning the fire and attacking the heart. And this antidote is very simple, 1 coin for white spoon, 3 coins for Dan, 2 coins for wolfberry, 2 coins for fish line gelatin, and vinegar, understand? Remember to remember, this is your retribution." What kind of poison he has, it's completely improvised, and he wants the second child to drink vinegar once a month before he is willing. The second child was depressed, but he remembered the antidote very well. He drank this vinegar away. The more treacherous the person, the more greedy he was for life and afraid of death. He was this kind of person. Xiaoxie said to the passengers, "The general trend has been decided. You will bring the women and children back later, and you will follow me to the thieves' den to get the silver." The chauffeur nodded, "Okay. Then get on the horse and go straight to the thief with the little evil. XXX. It was easy for them to find the place where the second child said the silver was hidden. Xiaoxie opened it and exclaimed, "Wow, Jia! It's a lot. Take it all back." Back to the original place, the sky was almost dawn, and everyone tossed and fell asleep one by one in the middle of the night.